really bad. So immediately I was like, yeah, I will not be doing any of that.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
It's like the worst way, but I mean, she came in there, and I mean, the book had pictures, you know, and I'm flipping through the book going,
like
ew.
one of them books of the STD books.
And that's what it was. Completely disgusting.
Yeah,
so
that would make you not want to have sex. That would make you want, hey, what's up, cuz?
Yeah.
That would make you stay a virgin right there forever. Like, them books were scary. I'm telling you.
I mean, do they even make those books anymore? I mean,
yeah, they do.
You know, and I'm flipping through the book. Every show with you, buddy.
Hush up.
Hey.
So yeah, I mean, they don't even know each other anymore. They just jump right into the bed. You know, they just get right to it. It's crazy. I mean, like, you got young girls trying to approach me as old as I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, my daughter beat you up, my wife would kill you. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Well, buddy, you got a job. Which is rare.
And that's what they don't want. They don't want a man that works. They want a man that's out here in these streets that party.
No, they want a man that works. Everybody
I'm a family
wants a
man
that works. Okay? Has a job.
But what kills me,
benefits.
What kills me is they don't even know if you got a job or not. You know, they out here getting pregnant day one. What about, it's bigger things than little diseases. AIDS, that's a big disease, right?
Oh my God, Houston is dropping the numbers. Well, they're dropping the numbers on what's going on in their city, right? Like, HIV has skyrocketed there.
Because nobody is practicing safe sex. Let's just be real. Let's call it for what it is. Nobody knows what safe sex is, right? It's sad and tragic. Now, that's the pandemic. That's the real pandemic in America right there. Is the way people jump in and out of beds unprotected. Nobody knows anything about anybody's health records, right? You don't know anything about anybody. That's the real problem.
Yeah. Well, I told you, that's just the way they're rocking right now.
I guess they cool with it. Everybody cool with the STDs. I mean, then, I'm just saying, hey, it's an STD party out here.
Everybody cool with it. Oh, my God.
And not to mention, hey, look, if it ain't STDs, then it's drugs, right? Everybody, I guess their philosophy is they got to die from something. So they got to die sometime, right? I mean, you look in shock. Hell, I mean, we've been out of the game a long time.
So tell me what you're talking about. Like, I'm trying to catch on. I'm like, are you talking about sex? Are you talking about drugs? Are you talking
I'm just talking about the way that the young generation rocks now versus the way we did back then, right?
I mean, they
all
don't
the same.
They don't date. They see each other. They know that they feel like they have a connection. They just go.
I swear, the pickup line today is, hey, you smoke?
I think it may be.
That's it. Hey, you smoke? I got that kill. Oh, for real? Yeah. You know, it's like crazy. You know what I'm saying? They drug at each other. You got boys that look like boys that are sleeping with boys. You know what I'm saying? That's just today's society. And it's crazy. It's crazy. This new age dating is just ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Listen, I saw, it was something, I think it was, okay, this is so bad. But I'm going to go ahead and say it because I'm a mom and I can say it. I feel like I can say it.
No,
I'm going to talk about it. Okay, let me tell y'all. So, my son was asking me, and this, I know I'm not the only mom that goes through this. Like, it's stressful that we have to protect everybody's feelings, but when it comes to our kids, I feel like I don't have to protect nobody's feelings because that's a conversation between me and my son. Me and my 8-year-old son.
Hey, I thought you were talking about the big boy.
No, my 8-year-old son asked me, he said, Ma, do boys wear makeup? And I said, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, because like the world does not know the stress of that question when it's asked to you because they're looking at you like, what's right, what's wrong. In that moment, you only have a second to make the right decision, right?
Right.
And whatever you say impacts their life. And I don't care what they see, right?
Right.
It's what my mama said, right?
Right.
So he was like, Ma, do boys wear makeup? And I was like, no, not unless they're clowns. And that was it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's all I said. That's all I said. I said that. And I mean, I think I said it because, one, I'm his mama. And I don't care. Can't nobody tell me how to be a mama to my 8-year-old boy, because I'm going to tell him what I want, right? Everybody talks about everything else, Easter Bunny, y'all can talk about all that. But when he asked me, do boys wear makeup? I said no.
That should have been
not
hell
unless
no.
they're clowns. So
Right. That's not cool.
y'all, do y'all understand how hard it is nowadays to have conversations with your children about same-sex marriages, right?
They really put us in a trick bag on that one, didn't they?
I mean, because in school, when they're in school, they're already teaching them. I don't care what you, I mean, they don't come to you and ask you, hey, do you want me to talk to your kindergartner about
They just start
same
going
sex
right in for
or
the jugular,
different
right?
households?
Yeah.
No, they just go ahead and start talking to them about it. And then when they come home, you know, my son was so excited about apartments. Listen, this boy lives in a house, but he came home and he was so excited. He was like, "Ma, ooh, in apartments, I bet they have parties all the time because they got their neighbors that live right next door. They live right there all together." He was like, "I want to live in an apartment."
They get the same roaches everybody get too, huh?
But he was like, "I want to live in an apartment." You know, so they started talking about stuff like that. And then I was already kind of shook up because I was like, I don't understand where his brain is. You got this big house and you want to live in an apartment, but whatever.
You're right.
And then he started coming home talking about families, right? He was like, "Ma, can somebody have 2 mamas?" I said, "No. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says."
I don't think so.
So, I mean, how do you feel about it? I'm just telling you what I said. I was like, no, nobody. A person can't have 2 mamas because you have to have a boy and a girl to make a baby.
It takes a man and a woman to make a kid, right? So there's no such thing as 2 mamas. There's no such thing as 2 daddies.
It's just stressful for me as a mother. You know what I mean?
And I understand some people might disagree with what we're saying. I'm not saying I'm against their lifestyle choices.
I'm not going to talk to
but
my
I
8-year-old
need-
son about.
No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying I really wish that people would be more realistic when it comes to talking to these kids, right? When it comes to talking to your children, man, they need to understand the only way you're going to reproduce is with a man and a woman. You can't, I mean, this reality that some people live in that, oh, I'm the mama and that's the daddy and it's 2 women or 2 men. Yeah, it's
when
just
they
not
ask
okay.
You know, I don't think they really think about that as adults. You know what I mean? That's your adult life. But when it comes to little kids, you can't tell me, I'm sorry, y'all. I just do not believe that if you have a woman and a woman living together or a man and a man living together, if they have a child, that child is going to think that it's okay to have a man and a woman. You know, that child is going to go with what they saw growing up. And that is just going to be what that is. Y'all don't think that, you know how people say, oh, when kids listen to rap music, it makes them bad people. That's what they say. If people listen to rap music,
I'm almost kind of inclined to agree with them anymore these days.
Okay, so if that's the case, then if a boy is raised by 2 men, who one is the mama and one is the daddy, then what do you think?
Somebody gonna bust his bubble and tell him, hey man, your dad is what your dad is. You got 2 dads or 2 mamas, whatever you want to call them.
I'm just confused.
But that ain't right.
And
Somebody need to tell them that ain't right.
I'm just confused, you know what I mean? And I, as adults, everybody can live their own life, that's fine. But when it comes to my 8-year-old boy, and he comes to me and he approaches me with a question like, "Mama, can a kid have 2 mamas?" I'm gonna say no.
Period.
Can they have 2 daddies? No, because it takes what to make a baby? And he says a boy and a girl. Okay, conversation is over, and I'm gonna walk away. Really, I'm just gonna walk away.
You know,
I'm quick to walk away.
You know, for the longest, I thought Mr. Rogers rocked like that, but you know, when somebody,
Mr. Rogers, was
you know, Mr. Rogers,
go.
he was, and I mean, he saw this coming a long time ago because he came on one of his episodes and he was singing. He told everybody, he said, "If you were born a boy, you're a boy. If you were born a girl, you're a girl." Yeah. Nobody peeped that until now. Somebody went back and found it and it was like, damn, Mr. Rogers saw that happening, right? He was like, damn, he seen it. He was like, there's some weird shit going on out here.
I wouldn't say weird, but I'm just saying.
That's weird.
I just be wanting to explain to other people that it's okay for you to live your life, but when it comes to children, they don't understand that kind of stuff. And it's, you know, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be okay if my son puts nail polish on. I don't care what it looks like.
I'm gonna knock his teeth out of his mouth, and I don't care what.
My point is, I don't care what it looks like to the world, because I'm gonna parent how I parent. You know what I mean?
And Lord forbid he put on a dress.
I'm just saying I don't feel the need to have to address that stuff before time. But now in kindergarten they have to address it because that's just what the world is. You got two men that have kids or two women that are like, well, we're gonna parent, and then our kids who come from a man and a male and female household go sit in the classroom and they sitting there and they're going, huh?
People looking at them like they weird because they got a mama and a daddy. Hey, what the hell going on? You got a mama and a daddy?
They was like, wait, you got two mamas? Wow, you're lucky. Do you have two daddies too? They don't know. They're kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just feel the need, and as a parent, this is just how I am. These are my thoughts as a parent. If you are a man, if you're a man that's just like a woman, or a woman that's just like a man, I'm not gonna have you around my kids. I don't care. That's just me. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say about it, and that's just
so yeah, and that brings me to my next point. What is too far? Like, when anybody out there can answer the question, what is too far? Because for me, too far started when they started allowing these big husky men with these beards and dresses and wigs on to go into the ladies' room with kids. You know, that's a problem because you don't know if that dude is really like that or if it's a rules to get in there with your little girl. You know what I mean?
You know what? They passed that now, and now they do have it to where they can't come in the bathroom.
They can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where you went, but I don't know where you were at, but some lady was on the news not too long ago. And
yeah, they're going too far.
Called a dude in the bathroom, and she was like, I don't care. And he was like, I'm not bothering you. And it's true. He may not have been bothering.
He's bothering her because he's in the same bathroom with her, regardless of if he wants what she got or not. That is a real bother. That's a bother to anybody. As a husband, if I see a man going to the bathroom with you, it's going to be a whole problem out there. And I'm going to drag him. I don't give a damn. I'm going to drag him right up out of there.
I'm just saying the world is a little different, and everybody has their own opinion about it. But I'm just saying when it comes to kids, you know.
And remember when people that chose that lifestyle were not as aggressive as they are now? Like,
what do you mean?
They are so aggressive. People that used to live that life, they were kind of in the shadow and had their own thing, right? Now, these suckers are bold. They will approach anybody. They'll approach your woman. They'll approach your man. They'll approach whoever they feel like they can approach with the foolery.
I don't know. I'm just saying how I feel as a parent. Yo, it's hard, man. It's hard parenting in these days. And then it's like, you know, I remember my daughter coming to me, and she had a friend or whatever. And at first, when I first saw this girl, she had long hair. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's okay. I'm going to tell you the story because it's important, you know what I mean? So she had long hair. And then I told my daughter, I said, oh, that's your friend. She was like, yes, ma'am. I said, oh, she's so pretty. I said, oh, so she lives across the street? She's like, yeah. And then...
No, then I saw my daughter walking up the street with a little boy. So I thought it was a little boy. And my wife saw the same little boy and we was asking, Jada, where's your friend at that you went to go? You know, who's the little boy? She's like, oh, that's her right there. I'm like, that's a boy. You know, oh no, she's not binary. All these new names for man and woman, it's just man and woman.
So now it's, right? Now it's
boy or girl.
Now it is our 13-year-old girl at the time who originally had a friend.
She was 12.
She was 12, yeah. She originally had a friend who we were all, you know, we all was like, oh, that's a girl, right? And then she decided to cut her hair and just not have a gender, right? So now our little boy is like, hey, who's your friend? And he was like, is that the girl from across the street? Right? Is that the girl from across the street? And she's like, well, she's not a girl. He was like, huh? Well, she's non-binary.
She was confusing my daughter with that crap.
So
Girl's
it's just a
girl,
lot.
boy's boy, man.
It's just a lot, y'all. And I'm just curious to know how other parents, not other people, okay? And I mean other parents in this generation, how you are explaining that to your kids. Like, do you feel the need to explain it to them, or are you just okay with it? And I know that everybody lives different lifestyles. I understand that. But my question is, when it comes to your smaller kids,
they got their work cut out for them in the world.
How are you explaining this to them? And do you believe that, like people say, music affects kids, right? So do you think that
Like
a
music
boy
affects adults, actually.
everybody, but I'm saying, do you think that a boy growing in a household with two other men, with two men as parents, is gonna be straight? Or do you think that a girl growing up in a household with two mothers is gonna be straight? Or do you think that would affect them psychologically? I just want to know what y'all think, because, and this is serious. Like, I'm just telling you what I told my kid. You know, I'm telling y'all that because I'm a mom and I can tell him what I want. Y'all tell y'all kids that they're Santa Claus, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna give my kid facts because he needs to be armed in this world. You know what I mean?
Not to mention, I mean, listen. I remember back in the day.
Or I won't have any grandkids.
Yeah. That's scary. We got 2 grandchildren already, but
the world started changing once.
Yeah, I'm worried for our grandchildren. Like, really, it's what's the word I'm looking for?
Confusing.
No. It's genocide. It's genocide, self-genocide. Yes, because you gotta realize they cannot and they will never be able to do this, because the one thing's for sure, you can change the sex on the outside, right? But you can't change the hip bone structure of a woman or a man.
That's true.
You can't give him the same hips as you have to bear children. You can't give her the same hips that I have to shoot the children into the woman, right?
Well, you know what? Actually,
turkey basters don't count.
What? I'm not gonna say nothing about turkey basters.
Well,
I was gonna say, what about men that were short and they go and get the surgery to get stretched out? I'm talking about their body, not nothing else.
I mean, if they were short, that's different though. That's still all men. That's the man's plumbing still.
I ain't talking about his plumbing.
They can't get no women. They can't get the women.
Structure.
They're
changing height.
I mean, but it ain't got nothing to do with whether they can have kids or not.
Do y'all think that?
I don't even know if that even a thing.
Do y'all think that it would affect a kid if they had a mommy and then their mommy now looks like a guy, but their mommy's giving birth with a beard? Like, do y'all think? This is a serious question.
I understand it's serious, but it's.
Do y'all think that affects the kids or not? Somebody tell me if it doesn't. Because if I mean, I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
I think it affects the doctors. They like, holy shit.
Listen, I was going to this one church and all the pictures of Jesus Christ were white, and then I ended up coming to Texas and going to a church and I saw black Jesus. That affected me. I was like, wow, wait a minute, now it makes sense.
That goes into the race
I've never
situation.
Seen, Caucasians have woolly hair, so I was like, boom, you know. And I felt like I had been lied to all my life. So for me as a kid to have that.
Jesus is whatever you put him as, you know, whatever you visualize him as, that's who Jesus is.
I just think we're not really protecting the mental state of our children with the things that we're doing or the decisions that we're making.
But it's by design. It's by design. It's by design. Everything's a money game. You figure if the children are messed up, they're going to need therapy, right? But it's kind of backfiring because instead of getting therapy, they're getting penitentiary time. So for them to be messed up by design and having to get therapy and all of that, that's not okay. Can you just put that on something?
Arm. Get off the table.
Not even, that thing is just, it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I know.
Can you just put it where it's supposed to be?
No, it has to be there because it's.
Why do we have to argue on there? I don't get it. I just asked you to do something. But there's yours right there. You want it? You want it?
Okay, tell me what you're talking about.
No, I was just saying smart mouth. So every time something happens or somebody gets a little distraught, right, about something, they do one or two things. They shut down or they act out. Simple as that. But they're both gonna have to require therapy.
Their emotional health is weak. Like lately.
Oh my God! Everybody, so many suicides.
Yeah, I would say they're being affected, and then they're not wanting to communicate. Communication needs to be taught in kindergarten. I think it needs to be taught every level.
Absolutely.
Every grade level, they need to reiterate communication.
Absolutely.
Or address emotional health. Right?
That is.
Let a kid, if they're having a problem because now their mom decides that she wants a girlfriend, that is going to affect them. I don't care what any.
But people are self. Hey, look, people are just selfish though. Let's be real.
Then the kid has to turn to a full blown actor immediately, and they gotta act like they're okay with not having their dad anymore and having two moms.
I watch kids grow up like that, man. It messed them up. Really, it messed them up.
I haven't met an adult who grew up with two of the same sex parents. Not yet. I know
you have. You just don't know it. You have, and you saw the end result, and it's not a good result.
I'm not saying that
they turn to drugs to cope when they get older. A lot of them do. People don't consider how it affects the children. All the same-sex adoptions and all of that. Yeah. These kids grow up and need therapy, man. So it's all a money game. Like they gotta be asking the hard questions, like, well, how did I get here?
Or the moms that are like they have to go into, oh, no, I'm okay with my son wearing nail polish. Are you? Are you really? Are you okay with your son wearing your shoes and going and getting in your closet and wearing your dresses? Or when you saw that happening, were you thinking to yourself, something's wrong?
And listen, this is by no means a session of bashing. Nobody's bashing anyone. I didn't touch the table this time. No, I didn't touch the table this time. Nobody's bashing anybody or anything like that. This is not a bash session. But at the end of the day, it's just...
These are questions that I genuinely have.
We have several friends that live that lifestyle, actually. I mean, a couple of them agree with our point of view. Some don't. But that's the beauty of this show. It's our point of view. This is what we feel about the situations, right?
I mean, as a parent, like, I have to address these things. You know what I mean? My son is gonna ask me. Now he's not gonna say, you know, because in our household it's just I have boys and I have one girl. You know what I mean? There hasn't been a time where my son has been like, hey, or you know, wanted to associate anything with you know, in a girly manner, because he grew up with big brothers, you know. So
I don't know. I caught him with that high pitched couple times and I about whooped his ass, but
well, you know, I think he's doing that because he's around us and we're always running our mouth, me and my daughter, because we talk all the time. So if he's around us a lot, you know what I mean, once his brothers grew up and moved out of the house, then he's around us a lot. That's why I'm saying when boys grow up in a household with two females, and that's your son, and I'm his mom and that's his sister, so he is going to mimic sometimes, you know what I mean? But then he quickly corrects himself. He was like, well, you know what my daddy said, I need to keep my man voice on all the time.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, men need men around. Boys need men around. Like, us as moms, we can teach them so much, but like, if there's a missing man in the household, let there be like a real strong uncle somewhere.
Hey, cuz, you quiet, man. What you got to say about it? I see you over there watching, man. What's going on?
I just want to tell y'all about my experiences. Like,
what do you think about all of this hoopla going on out here, man?
As a parent, I am willing to take advice, you know what I mean? But if, like, as soon as it happens, your brain just goes into...
But you know what? And the crazy part is, today's generation, they look up to those type of people.
What do you mean?
All the rappers that's doing what they doing, man.
They don't look up
These
to
kids
them.
look up to them.
I mean, when you were a kid, you trying to tell me
Sugar Hill Gang didn't roll like that. Neither did Eric B and Rakim.
You don't know nothing
about
LL
Cool J. Listen, they didn't act like that. They didn't put it out there. I ain't heard nothing of nothing. DMX ain't never had nothing like that happen.
You don't know what type of household DMX grew up in, and y'all don't know nothing about Will Smith until here recently.
Hey, look, I didn't listen to Will Smith because I always thought he was a soft rapper anyway.
You watched.
I watched The Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
yes,
I know you did.
But I didn't listen to his music. Well, Summertime was a bump. Yeah, it was a bump.
Everybody listened to that. Everybody did. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, really, here's this. Look at his kids.
They're weird. They're wild. They're weird kids.
Do you know that the daughter wrote a letter to Tupac after he died saying...
she wished he was her daddy?
allegedly she wished he came back so her mom could be happy again.
Damn,
Allegedly.
that's
But y'all can check
sound like
it out.
August Alstina was making her mama pretty happy.
I think
And she
was
was
just
making him
sad.
pretty happy.
She was pretty miserable.
I mean, but you don't put your business, you don't air your dirty laundry out there like that. Let's be for
August
real.
was on, allegedly, August was popping up all over on interviews. Hurt, okay? He was hurt.
But man, you hurt over another man's wife. You lucky he didn't take your life.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, he wasn't worried about it because he had a boyfriend. Allegedly.
I mean,
Allegedly.
wasn't Will Smith's son his boyfriend?
No, they were just friends. I don't know. Listen, my point is, you as a child, you had people that you had rappers that you looked up to. You know what I mean?
Hey,
and you didn't know
we
anything.
ain't talking about me though.
Listen, you didn't know anything about their personal life. But nowadays, because we got YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff, you know way more about a person's life than I feel like you know more. And when you know more, well, we know too much. I would say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't lie, man. The whole
Sometimes I'll be like, I don't even want to know.
that whole Sean Diddy Combs thing that just threw me for a loop.
No, it didn't, because you told me when I told you, I was like, hey, babe, and we talked about East Coast and West Coast rappers, and you was like, yeah, all they dancing and stuff.
Yeah, all that dancing.
And I was like, no, that can't be it.
That was it.
What
They
irritates
dancing right
me-
into another man's life, into his lap.
What irritates me is that they keep calling him a rapper. What rap verse did you ever hear P. Diddy perform? Give it to me. How did it go?
Seems like yesterday we used to rock.
That wasn't a rap.
That
That was not a rap. I don't know. That was just more so of a tribute.
Okay, well, it was him doing what he did. He was more of the hype man. He was not a rapper. You're right. He was not a rapper. He was the
Keep
hype man.
calling him a rapper.
He was a
and I'm
businessman.
like, he was not a rapper. Whatever Kim Kardashian is,
That's what P Diddy is.
that's what P. Diddy is.
Oh, he's a social scammer.
A social butterfly. What do you call
A
those?
scammer.
No, he's not a scammer.
She got it on by being a porn star. I'm just gonna tell you. Hey, look, I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I ain't scared of nobody. She was a porn star, and she was a nobody before she was a porn star. Her and Ray J put her on with the porn tape.
Allegedly.
The little sec. I saw the tape.
You nasty? You watched it? Like the
I
whole
watched it.
thing?
I watched it. It was whack, but I watched it. It was whack. Yeah.
It's like, it was whack, but I seen it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see what the fuss was about with her. Like, she was, and
So y'all
yeah, hey, and look, hey, and just to be clear, they tried to scrub it from the internet because, yes, she did have plastic surgery for the butt and everything she got, because she was flat like a little boy back then.
Oh, well,
She wasn't.
butts.
Yeah, no.
No.
She was fake. Now she's fake. She was a typical Armenian or whatever she is back then.
You know, everybody is going to Ozempic, y'all. I'm just curious about if that has any, like, if y'all been experiencing any type of sickness or anything like that. I just want to know. And then also the whole I can't get my body together, so I'm just gonna go and get it done thing. Like,
That's just lazy. That's lazy. And no, what kills me is the chicks that go get their bodies done and then they start making workout videos.
yeah, or
They be out there working out.
Or the dudes that been in a penitentiary for like 10, 15 years and get out, and now all of a sudden
They
a
personal
fitness
trainers.
instructor. Personal trainer, dude. You yes, you got that body and you was working out, but yeah, the girls that get their body done and then they go working out and then you notice, wait, she don't have a belly button.
I think that it got a little more advanced now. I think they got belly buttons now.
But you remember there was a point where like
Then you have a couple of people in your family that ain't got belly buttons.
no, I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nobody in
We're
my
gonna go
family.
with that. We're gonna go with that.
We were born with these bodies.
Yeah, you were. Yes.
We were born with these bodies.
And it's a nice body, I must say.
Okay,
but
buddy.
yeah,
Focus.
we know. We know a couple of people without belly buttons, you know.
I was like, why are you working out now? You wasn't working out before you went to got the job there. Now you jogging.
With a little fake ass jog, a little light. I be going to push them people over when I catch them. They be out here jogging. Hold on, this is the thing. This is how they run. Then they be at a stoplight like this. I say, man, come on, man. I just want to push your ass down.
Yeah, I'm so tired, man.
They kill me with that.
Oh God, I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. But anyway, we had a lot to talk about. I really got questions. I really, really want y'all to give me all the parent advice. Now, listen, if you're not a parent, I don't want your advice. I don't want it.
Do y'all ever see those people out there fake jogging like they done worked out for their bodies and you just want to push them over? Like, man, go on with that
But
bullshit.
I heard they got to kind of keep it, you know.
They got to, but let's just be real.
Yeah.
You can get the same body for about free if you just go work out.
Yeah.
Walk every day, eat right, drink, whatever you're going to do. But you ain't got to be out here faking it. You faking the funk now, man. You know what I'm talking about?
It's the no belly buttons for me, or when they be having
It's
a
all
nasty
these
looking belly button.
it's all these niggas out here doing what they doing with these boys. For me, man, they like that boy booty. That's nasty.
Well, that's their... Okay, listen. That is their preference. But my thing is...
Boy booty is somebody's preference.
I'm
Ain't
saying,
nothing better than a woman.
My confusion was, how do you think that it does not affect the children? If you're saying rap music affects them, how do you think that it doesn't affect them to see something that is not normal? Well, maybe it is their normal. Do you think it is their normal? Do you think that they don't have questions? I don't know.
Problem is, ain't nobody getting their ass whooped no more. That's the problem.
What you mean?
Like, you know, if you see a kid doing something wrong, you got to correct the behavior immediately, right? If you don't correct it, like if they start acting a little funny, man, you gotta get in their ass. Period. Like, yeah, whoop their ass. Hey, man, that ain't right. You got to drum that into them, beat their ass, let them know that ain't right.
So let me tell y'all. So there is this thing.
You always gotta tell somebody something.
I always gotta tell somebody something because listen, I know certain things.
You don't know shit.
So some people are born with female. Some boys are born with, you know, different chromosomes. Okay. Female chromosomes. Some people are born with both parts, the hermaphrodite.
Well, those are the true people, if you will, that are allowed to make their own decision of whether they want to be a man or a woman because they were born with both.
No. Okay,
no, you
so
tell me.
let me tell you, because I went to school for this. Okay, let me tell you.
Hey man, just because you went to school for this don't mean nothing.
Let me tell y'all. Yeah. So there's a situation where you would have a hermaphrodite, right? And the hermaphrodite they're born with both. Mind you, they're babies, so they do not get to make the choice because they're babies. So in that case, the parent makes the choice, and the parent says, "I think it should be a boy," right? Or I think it should be a girl. But then when they grow up,
they gonna make their own decision anyway. If they don't feel like that's how they want to be, then that's how they don't. That's how they want to be. They're not gonna be like, oh, I want to be a boy or a girl. They're gonna be like, I am a man.
I'm saying
all it takes is for them to get a hold of one good woman and find out what that's about. And shit.
But they can be like,
hey,
I
I'm
am
an old
a man,
out
but
here.
then they have boobs and
Don't
you
matter.
know.
As long as you get it worked up.
So I'm just saying, my point is, in that
you ain't
case,
got no point. She ain't got no point. This the F what you thought show. It's F what she thought, y'all.
Huh? In that case, I can see what you show childish. In that case, I can see where they would be confused, right? Because they didn't get a choice.
Who you calling childish?
They didn't get a choice to say this is what I want to be. You know what I mean? But then they get older and they feel that way, and then they don't know. They don't know what happens. It's like if a kid is born with an extra toe and you chop it off, or you have them cut it off.
Well, I'm so sick and tired of people saying they were born that way, because you're not born that way.
What are you gonna just say?
No, I know what you just said, but I'm just saying I'm cutting you off. Is that all right?
Go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm tired of people hollering they was born that way when they weren't born that way. They can say they were born that way all they want, but I think every situation like that starts with some trauma somewhere. Some trauma that they done locked away and don't remember it. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
And it's F what you thought.
Why you not trying to go back and forth with me, though?
I mean, because ain't nobody else to go back and forth with here. Do you see anybody else to go back?
Because you said...
You the co-host. You say you got it, so I want to know what you got.
So you said that they shouldn't be confused and they weren't born that way. But I just gave you an example of when they are born that way.
Well, I'm giving
you. So how do you feel about that?
Oh, well, that's different. Like, if they were really born with both parts, then I guess they were born to decide on what they want to be. That's the one gift God gave them. What do you want to be?
They're babies, so they don't.
Well, when they
decide.
get old enough to decide, they can decide. Like, hey,
no, their parent is going to decide.
I don't care what their
them.
parents decide. They parents can't decide nothing for them.
Yes, they can.
And like
when they're born,
do y'all feel that way? Anybody out there?
When they're born, the parent will say, "Take that away," and they will do the surgery. You see what I'm saying?
Parents don't know sometimes either.
No, they don't know. So in that case, I can see where that's a logical reason to be confused. Okay.
Exactly.
I personally think that's a logical reason to be confused because your parents could have had you and you could have had both.
So I can see if you say something.
And they took the.
You want to join in?
They took the male part, but that person is like, well, I feel like a male, or I feel,
They're not gonna take their parts though. They're gonna let them stay with it. I mean, the right thing would be to let them stay with whatever parts they were born with. I'm telling you that
I've been on the medical side of it, and when people
have what you've been on the side of, I'm just telling you how.
Both, they decide. Okay, it's what happens. They decide.
See, that's the difference in how men think and women think. You know that, right?
I'm giving you facts. I told you I've been on the medical side of it.
Your facts are bullshit.
Cousin.
Yes, her facts are bullshit.
He is being so childish.
Today is that day.
Like, he's being so childish.
No, hey. Do y'all got something y'all want to say out there? Because yes, you can. It's interactive. Anybody want to talk? Go ahead and say what you want to say. We'll respond right away.
Swear to God, none of y'all answered my question about how y'all feel. Like, how are you explaining this? And that's for my
viewers on YouTube and my viewers on
to the kids.
The other lives that we got. We are interactive with all of them, all platforms.
Yeah. So, anyway. I told my son what it was. I told my daughter what it was.
Yeah, you got to keep them straight, man. If they don't know, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Kids, they grow up and they just think they know everything and they don't. That's why we were talking about what we're talking about. The different things. We're talking about dating in today's society versus then back then. We're talking about these mixed up ass delinquents that we have running around here.
What? What are you talking about?
Talking about the kids that don't know where they want to be, men or women. Or women or men. We talking about them. They some delinquents. They don't know no better.
I wouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't call them names. I'm
not calling them names. They are they're juvenile delinquents. How can you be 12 thinking you gay?
Okay, well, let me tell y'all the backstory of that, though. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? So she was saying, the little girl, she was saying that she was non-binary all of a sudden. But then when I kind of watched, they got on the bus, they were going to school together, I realized that she didn't have her parents. It was like they were elderly people that she was living with.
Right.
Right, so a grandfather and her grandma. And I don't think she even knows who her mom and dad are. So
damn. That's tragic, but that's still no reason. I believe that everything starts with a touch. That's what I really believe. I believe everything starts with a touch. And if it didn't start with a touch, there was some other drama there that made them dislike who they were or what they were. You know what I mean? Or something they seen. Just like I said, I knew kids that were raised with two mamas, Did
you?
Yeah.
Really? No, tell that I would like to hear, because what I'm telling you is
I just told you they grew up fucked up. One of them is a drug head. The other one they have low self-esteem.
Why though? I mean, did they tell y'all? Did y'all already know, or how? You
gotta think about it. Being a boy, seeing your mama with another woman who's trying to play daddy.
The mama was.
No, the mama was the mama, and the girlfriend was the so-called man.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But that's gonna affect a kid. Listen.
Did his daddy leave?
Here's my thing. Here's my take on it.
I want to know the story.
I know the daddy did leave, but he didn't leave. You know what I'm saying? Daddy went away for a little while.
To jail?
Yeah. So it is what it is. But with that being said, that's not there was nobody there to protect these kids from what befell them. There was shit happening in the household. The mama had a cousin or something that was touching on the girls, and that was like a thing that was happening. And one of the girls grew up, didn't know if she wanted to be, gay or straight. And it's weird. It's wicked out here. At the end of the day, though, man, things like that happen. And here's my take on woman-on-woman relationships. If you're gonna be a woman dating a stud, What's the point? Because you might as well get you a man. Stud gonna act the same way a man's gonna act.
Hey,
if you're gonna be a woman dating another woman, why don't you get a woman to act like a
I'm gonna
woman?
give you the woman side of that. Some women don't like men.
Period. And that's because something happened. But if you don't like a man, see, that's where it gets stupid to me. No,
don't say stupid.
It's stupid. It's
confusing.
Listen, it's stupid as hell because if you're a woman that don't like men, why would you go get a woman that look like a man and try to act like a man?
But it's still not a man.
It's in her mind, she's a man.
No.
In your woman's mind, if your woman is a stud, in her mind, she's a man. That's why she calls herself a stud. She's a man. She's a stud, right?
I mean, their lifestyle is their lifestyle, but I'm just saying it was confusing to me to try. You know, when it came to me explaining it to my son, I said what I said, and I meant it, and I'm gonna stand on it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if he sees a man with makeup on, he gonna be like, "Ma, that's a clown." He's just gonna believe that because that's what I told him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was quick. It was quick. He was, "Ma, do men wear makeup?" No, they don't. Well, what if they do? Well, then they're a clown. So,
they are clowns.
What would you would have? See, that's the thing. Our kids always come to me with the hard stuff. Like, "Ma, did you know that there was such thing as the white hole?" They want to talk to me about space.
That's the difference
and
between men and women. They know I'm gonna give it to them raw
and
and
they come
uncut.
to. Do they ever ask you any of these questions?
No, because they know I'm a
saying,
hardcore man out here.
I
I don't fool around like that.
It's hard being a mom out here because we got to answer for everything that's going on in the world.
That's what makes us such a great team.
I know that.
You
But
know,
I'm just saying in real life, yo, like being a mama in this day and age, we have to answer for everything that's going on in the world, every action that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? Our kids will see something on TV and they'll come to us and be like, "Ma, what is this?"
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna switch the subject now because I want to talk to y'all about something that just happened in Illinois. I think it was where a woman called the police because she thought she heard something, somebody around her house, and they went in there and they killed her in her house. I think that was a big loss, a big tragedy. She was the mother of two. She had a 17-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter. Now, yeah, we don't know how that's gonna affect those kids, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna affect them really messed up. You know, as a son, if a cop did it to my mother, I don't even want to think about how I would react to that. You know, and the fact that the cop set her up, he set her up from the word go. So I'm trying to figure out who he worked for. He had been fired from what, 6 agencies and kicked out of the military. Now, I want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think he should go to prison, or do y'all think that they should put him in G-pop and let the prisoners handle him? You know, should he be, protected in jail, or should they just let the population get at him? Because this is something I want to know. This is it's just really not a good look. So what do y'all think?
Well, I'm never look. That's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to say because we definitely always want people, but I'm not gonna lie to you. This is how I feel. Okay, so I think that he should be punished. Whoever hired him should be punished. Whoever covered up the fact that he was fired from all these other places should be punished. I think it should go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think they need to bring everybody back and just kind of talk to everybody. Like, what was you thinking? I want to know what made you think that he got fired from all these other different places. What made you think that he would be different here? You know?
I mean, that's a serious subject, man. Like, it's,
do police officers have to go? Is there mandatory counseling?
They do have counselors.
Is it mandatory?
They have department counselors. Mandatory, I don't know if it's so much mandatory, but at the end of the day,
that's true.
That dude needed what?
They won't put him in general pop because he was with law enforcement.
They need to put him in G-pop. I mean, yeah, they need to put him in G-pop though, because that was a flat out assassination. When his partner went to the back room to check, see, first of all, old buddy went in the house with his body camera off, right? He had his body camera turned off. His partner had his body camera turned on. So when the partner came from the bedroom, the man was standing there talking to the woman with his hand on his gun. After he, first of all, if she's cooking in her home, why would you send her to a boiling hot pot that ain't got nothing to do with what you there for?
This is why
And tell her get it out the pot. So when she get ready to pour the water down the sink, he first he was already trying to get her to get up. What I observed, he was already trying to get her to move around and reach so he can do what he needed to do. I need them to check and see if she was some kind of witness that was in a high profile case or something. Like, they need to check that, because at the end of the day, from the time he came in, he was like, you're talking to me in my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to show you my ID. And I don't need to move to go to my oven or my stove to take nothing off. You just need to say what you came here for and leave. Like, I called you. I'm not a suspect. I'm not going to do anything to you. Why would you take a step closer if you think I'm going to throw water on you? That's how you know it was an assassination. And if they find him not guilty, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a problem, because at the end of the day, if you look at the video, right, she got down and she like, oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. She was apologizing to him, and he shot her in the face 3 times. In the face. And then he's like, oh, look at that water all over the floor. And then his partner tried to render aid. He was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's a headshot. She's going to bleed out. Let her fucking die. You know? What the fuck are you? Now, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little outright about it, but yeah, I'm pissed about it, because at the end of the day, that is not a way to behave. You're supposed to be there to protect and serve the public, right? Mm-hmm. Not assassinate. A mother of 2. Now you're going to have a son out here with a chip on his shoulder, and that can go bad for a lot of people.
Yeah. You know, I mean, those situations are very sad. You know what I mean? We have to look at who's hiring these people. You know what I mean? You know, during evaluation that something was wrong with this man. You know, he felt a certain way about a race. Somebody knew somewhere down the road that he felt a certain way, or he was a certain type of person, and they just let it continue. But you know, we're very upset that this has happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there has to be some type of there needs to be something to happen to keep
their vetting process is weak.
Yeah.
And here's my thing, and I know people think it's crazy, but at the end of the day, the best people that make the best cops are people from the streets, and not somebody that's been to college all this time and in the military. Well, military people might be okay, but because in order to be a police officer now, they want you to have some kind of college degree or some kind of college education or something. Yeah. Right? These people obviously don't know what it's like to be in the street.
I think they need to just flat out give everybody that wants to be a police officer a lie detector test. Are you racist? Period. Swear. That's it. Boom.
But you know what's sad about that? Some people don't even know they're racist.
People know they're
racist. That's like when you talk. Look, that's like talking to somebody, you know, and you don't bring up color, right? You talking to somebody.
I got a whole bunch of black friends.
No, they don't ever say a whole bunch. They be like, "Oh, I had a black friend once."
Like,
you don't know you're racist, but that's racist. Like you had a black friend once. Come on, man.
We were
like,
just talking about.
We weren't even talking. He's a black guy, and they want to be. You know, people are quick to let you know that they down with the black. I had a black friend. I grew up with a black guy. When you say a black guy, you didn't say I grew up around people in the hood, because if you grew up like that, it's gonna be in the way you carry yourself, right? Yeah. And I mean, black cops ain't no better. They're not any better.
I'm not saying they
walk around with a chip on their shoulder.
I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I genuinely believe that in the process of hiring a police officer, there needs to be like a list of questions that they need to ask, and one of them needs to be, "Are you racist?"
And you know, I commend this one brother. Wait a minute, I commend this one black man, and I'm gonna tell the story because I think it was. I don't know how I felt. I thought it was sad, but it was a plausible story. It was plausible what he did.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so cop shoots an unarmed black teenager who he shouldn't even stop, right? Kid was minding his own business. Cop shot him. All right, so the daddy of the son waited for the court and everything to be done. They found the cop not guilty. Okay. Cop's still a cop, right?
Right.
So now the daddy, he's hurt, he's grieving, his son's lost because his son was on the way to college. Good kid.
Yeah.
From what they say, by all accounts, he's supposed to be a good kid. So the daddy starts to stalk the cop's daughter.
Mm.
Yeah. The daddy stalks his daughter and waits to her prom night. The daddy, whose heart is still broke because he lost his only son, walks up to this man's daughter and blew her and shot and killed her. Now, some people can call it evil, but at the end of the day, man, it's an eye for an eye, life for life, blood for blood.
Those.
And that's he wanted that cop to feel the same pain he felt.
Yo, that.
Not only did he do it, but he waited for them to come and arrest him after he did it and told them why he did it.
I just think it's wrong.
You gotta realize though, when you're dealing with the public and you treating people, here's what people don't realize when they treat people like animals, right?
Yeah.
You work with the people, you treat everybody like a criminal, and you go home and live this perfect life like you better than everybody. You're gonna have to see those people one day.
But
you don't know when you're gonna see them or where you're gonna see them at, but when you have to see them, you better hope that it's some good natured fun.
I just think there also needs to be like mandatory therapy for police officers because they do
You
deal
keep
with.
saying therapy, but they're the ones causing grief.
But listen to what I'm saying. They deal with real serial killers. They really have to listen to people pouring out their hearts
But
about
they need to learn to
crimes that
separate
they-
us from them. I can't.
Crimes that they have committed. So after hearing these types of things, they do need to go to therapy.
They
You know
do
what I
need to
mean?
go to therapy,
It's just like a
but they need to
special
pick
ed
and
teacher,
choose.
right? A special ed teacher deals with children who need, or people who need special ed all the time. And if you bring that person out of their environment and put them in a living room with other adults that are not, they don't have any type of special needs, they're still going to treat and talk to them as if they have special needs.
And that's where they need more therapy and more training.
So do you get what I'm saying though?
They need more training because you got to learn to distinguish the difference between a problematic individual and somebody who's just acting crazy, period.
That's true.
Somebody
Or
who's
somebody
just got
who
a chip
has
on their shoulder.
mental health. I think that how when they get behind us and they run our run our insurance or they run us, I think that if there is a mental health problem or mental health issue or they're taking some type of medication, maybe that's something that should be included on our license or something like that. That way if they approach somebody who may have a mental health issue, then they'll know, oh, I need to handle this person differently. You know what I mean?
I just think people be on dummy missions, babe. You know,
What do you mean?
I'm just real. Like,
dummy mission. Give me an example.
man, it's several instances where cops have asked somebody to reach for something and they shoot them.
That's true.
Then there's instances where cops did do the right thing and they telling people, hey man, don't reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
That versus, hey man, go ahead and get your license out and then you shoot them. Versus somebody saying, hey man, I got a gun in the car and you say, hey, don't reach, and then you shoot them because they keep reaching.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And unfortunately, a lot of people raise hell about the boy in Minnesota that got shot. Not George Floyd, the other one, Philando Steele. And I saw the video.
One that was in his car?
Yeah, I saw the video.
And the girl was in the car with him?
I saw the whole video from the beginning to the end.
What happened?
Well, he told the cop he had a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So the cop said, hey, do me a favor, man. Don't worry about it. I don't need to see your gun, so don't reach for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he kept reaching.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop kept telling him, stop reaching, stop reaching, stop reaching. So when he didn't stop reaching, the cop feared for his life.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, yes, I can see it. Like, I would have did the same thing. If I'm asking you not to reach, I'm not going to take a chance and risk you shooting me after you told me you had a firearm, right?
Well, how often is it that young black men get pulled over and shoot cops?
It ain't that often, but they're starting to get there.
I mean, like, why though?
That's
Why
a
do you
created.
feel
That's a created deal right there. That's something that's a created environment.
It's like you walking in a room all the time, and if something keeps jumping out at you, when you walk in
Eventually you
every
gonna deal
room,
with
you're gonna be like, every time, you're gonna be like, whoa. You know what I mean? So I just think that you're right. They need to be trained properly. You know what I mean? They need counseling, and they need that.
They need intense therapy.
test. They need that test. Are you
Actually,
racist?
I think they need the
Are you
police.
racist?
And here's what they need to do. They need to lower their qualifications to be a police officer.
What do you mean?
That way they can get more qualified candidates. Like nobody should have. Let's be real. Everybody's not going to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in law. You know what I'm saying? Some people didn't go past high school, right?
Okay.
So why couldn't you be a cop with a high school diploma?
Because they feel like you're not.
Some of them will be the better
educated
cops, though. Some of them are going to be better cops.
enough. Or can you pass the test?
They can pass the physical test. They can pass every test that everybody else can pass, because those degrees don't have nothing to do with being a cop. It's about being physical, knowing how to read and write.
Is anybody, I'm just wondering, is anybody asking to see what the qualifications are to be a police officer? And then if they do have mandatory counseling, or, you know, are these questions being asked, or are we just out here just being mad because they flipping out? We're like, dang, another person. Dang, they did it again. But what are we doing to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Listen, when I was growing up, right, and those qualifications just came about a few years ago, because when my cousin was a police officer, all you had to have was a high school diploma, right?
Okay.
Well, as he was they were cops for like 20 plus years. Well, after that, they started upping what you had to have. You had to have a bachelor's degree in law, right?
Okay.
Or some kind of college education. And that's when you started seeing a spike in shootings, right? Because they like, I went to college, hell, I ain't finna let nobody do nothing to me. You know, so they feeling like they college bound, they better than everybody they serving and protecting, versus just getting somebody from the gutter. When I grew up, cops were real cops. They get out there with you, they mix it up with you if that's what you want to do, for real. Like, there was a cat named Johnson, and I mean, he was a white boy, and he was cool at times, but when we had to run from him, and the motherfucker was fast. He was a track star. He would just stride after you, man. The only way you get away from him is run through a backyard with dogs in it.
Wait, so you knew?
Hey, don't ask no questions. I'm just letting you know. That's how you got away from you. Hey, look, don't worry
if you
about
want to
that.
talk about it, let's talk about it.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I'm just telling you, the cat, but I had talked to him and I asked him about that as the years went on, when we got older. And he said he never went to college. He just graduated high school.
So, I mean,
he said they started that shit probably 14, 15 years ago.
I mean, and honestly, if that's somebody hiring for what they want, they can put whatever qualifications they want.
Everybody ain't, like I said, everybody ain't gonna go to college.
It's their position. They can do whatever they want.
That's why you're getting these idiots that shoot people, because they don't know no better.
I just think they need to be provided certain things. Like, every month I need you to go to counseling. Like, I need to see that you have logged a certain amount of time in community service or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see these things, because I just feel like, and definitely the test. I don't want anybody to not hear me say that I believe that police officers, whether, I don't care what color they are, they need to take a test, and the first question they need to ask is, are you racist? Because
they're gonna lie anyway.
No, I mean, it's a lot to take the test.
But some people don't know they're racist. They really don't.
Yes, they do.
No,
people that are racist
some people don't know they're racist.
Please, I don't believe that. And
some people don't know they're racist.
Those are your
that's
thoughts.
The truth.
But I believe that people that are racist know that they're racist. You know what the misconception is, though? People of different color don't think that black people can be racist. I don't know why, but they really, really think that they're the only ones. So,
hey, y'all, listen, man. Let's pray for that family in Chicago, or in Springfield, Illinois, rather. Not Chicago. I'm sorry, wrong location. Let's pray for that family. The daughter and the son and the father, the grandfather, the young lady that was murdered by Springfield Sheriff's deputies. And I want to thank the police department for having at least one good officer that had his body cam on and stood up against his partner. Big ups to him. You know what I'm saying? Even though he couldn't stop his partner, he was probably just as scared when he saw the man shoot the woman.
Can you imagine? Like, he's gonna need.
He definitely gonna need counseling.
He's gonna need therapy.
But, you know, hey, that's our time for tonight. I want to thank y'all for tuning into the F What You Thought podcast. I'm your host, LG, and this is my beautiful and lovely co-host, the artist formerly known as Kashonda, now known as Phoenix. She's an actress, singer, songwriter, business owner. She owns the Yami Yoni. She owns Yami Yoni Dallas.
Why you put my business out here like that?
Y'all need to, hey, if y'all in the area, check her out. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope spot. And don't forget, we will be getting we will be renewing our vows next year on June 21st. Thank you for tuning in to the F What You Thought podcast. Tune in next week, same time, same place. Thank you.
All right, y'all. So thank you so much for watching the show. If you